Possessive adjectives in Spanish are crucial for communication. They help you identify who the owner of something is. Is it hers? Is it his? Is it mine? These words are essential, so in this video I'm going to teach you what possessive adjectives are. I'm going to give you tips on how and when to use them, and I'm also going to give you some tips so you can talk about your belongings in a more natural and fluent way. I'm also going to give you a quiz so you can test your knowledge on these words. Hi everyone, this is Daniela from Tell Me Spanish y estoy aquí para ayudarte a hablar español de forma más natural. Possessive adjectives, the name is kind of transparent, help you talk about your possessions. In other words, you're going to use them to talk about your belongings, but also about your relationships. Like in English, possessive adjectives in Spanish are usually placed before the noun. They also mark the plural form of the possession that you're talking about. Careful, we're not marking the gender or the number of the subject, but rather the possession that you're talking about. So far so good, right? Like they look very similar to English. However, in Spanish, some of the possessive adjectives that you're going to use, great news, they also mark the gender. I know, more gender rules, but these ones are quite easy. Let me show you what the possessive adjectives are. So for you, if the thing that I'm talking about is singular, you're going to use mi casa, my house, or plural, mis casas, my houses. As if, I wish. For two, you're going to use tú, tu perro, or tus perros. Él, ella, and usted share the same possessive adjective, su mamá, or sus mamás. Let's get to the ones that you need to mark the gender. As you can see, these three over here just mark the number. If I have a singular thing, I'm going to use the singular form, and I'm going to add an S if I have more than one thing. However, nosotros and vosotros, if you're learning Castilian and Spanish, do mark gender and number. Let me show you. Nuestro vecino. Vecino is a masculine word, so I have to mark the gender with a possessive. Or nuestra vecina if you're talking about a female neighbor. Just add the S for the plural form. Nuestros vecinos or nuestras vecinas. The same happens with vosotros. For example, vuestro teléfono, your phone, guys. Vuestra bolsa, your bag, girls. Or vuestras bolsas, vuestros teléfonos. Pay attention to this. If you're learning Spanish to talk in Latin America, to travel around Latin America, or to communicate with Latin American Spanish speakers, you do not need to learn vosotros. Finally, we have ellos, ellas, and ustedes. These pronouns share the same possessive with these guys. Su amigo, their friend, or your plural, a group of people, friend, sus amigos, su amigo and sus amigos. So as you can tell, possessive are great to talk about your possessions. However, here comes a crucial tip for Spanish. Possessive do not like parts of the body. They are not friends. They hate each other. What I'm trying to tell you is that in Spanish, when someone is talking about body parts, we don't use possessive. We actually use articles. For example, me duele la cabeza. My head hurts, literally. I have a headache. But it's too repetitive to say, me duele mi cabeza. Yeah, sister, I know you're talking about your head. You can skip it. Because body parts are so obviously yours, we don't need to use possessive. Instead, you're going to use definite or indefinite articles. okay? Masculine and feminine. Me duele el codo, me duele el estómago. You can also use articles when talking about objects or belongings that are clearly yours. For example, perdí la cartera. I lost my wallet. If I say perdí la cartera, everybody understands that, okay, like she's talking about her wallet, she lost it. However, again, this needs to be a clear context. It has to be obvious that you're talking about something that belongs to you. This is great and everything, but what happens with phrases like Daniela es amiga mía? You have heard those phrases before, right? Yes, that's a great question. In Spanish, the most common possessive that we use are these ones. They are called short form adjectives or non-stressed adjectives. We do have, however, some stressed possessive adjectives, or what people call, like in casual situations, long form adjectives. These adjectives, míos, mías, tuyo, tuyas, well, they are longer, that's what they are called long form, but they also have accent marks with yo, okay? And this was just work in very special situations, only when you want to emphasize the possession. You could easily say, Daniela es mi amiga, Daniela is my friend, and that's okay, that's perfect. But if you want to emphasize, you can say, Daniela es amiga mía. Daniela is a friend of mine. The great news about these words is that you're not going to use them as commonly in Spanish, just in those like very specific situations that I told you. And the second great news about these words is that these are also possessive pronouns. As pronouns, you don't need to accompany them by a noun. For example, este es mío. This is mine. You can obviously see that I'm talking about my marker, so I get to use pronouns. So now that you understand how possessive adjectives work, I'm going to give you a very simple quiz so you can practice these words. I'm going to give you 5 sentences and I'm going to tell you the subject that you're going to use. Let's start. Number 1, the subject is yo. Blank, perro se llama Manchas. Number 2, blank, papás son doctores. We're talking about ellos. Number 3, blank, carro se descompuso. We're talking about nosotros. Number 4, me gustan, blank, zapatos. I'm talking about you. Singular you. Number 5, ¿dónde están, blank, libros? And I'm talking about me, yo. Leave your answers in the comments and I'm going to give you feedback if you need it. Before we finish this video, I want to give you some additional resources in case you need to go a little bit deeper into this topic. The first one is a video about this same lesson just in Spanish. That way you get to practice listening and you also reinforce this concept again. The second one is a guide on possessive adjectives in Spanish. In this guide, you're going to see more examples with these words. You're going to see the difference with stressed possessive adjectives. And you're also going to find a quiz, longer quiz, so you get to practice these words again. If you like the video, please hit the like button and I hope to see you soon. Bye!